This is Kevin Clifford with the August 18, 2026 JSTORM Daily News, PM edition. In film, from page to screen, this year's most anticipated book adaptations. Discover the most exciting book-to-movie adaptations of the year, as Amazon Books editorial director Sarah Gelman shares her favorites. In sports, watch the 2026 college football season with DIRECTV, schedule, channel guide, and more. Stay up to date with every Inca football game of the season with DIRECTV comprehensive coverage. In sports, Ohio State moves Senior Day away from Michigan game amid rivalry week distractions. Ohio State is shifting Senior Day from the highly anticipated Michigan game to its Week 1 matchup against Ball State, citing the need to remove distractions from the In education, Chicago's migrant aid leaves its own children behind. Millions spent on migrant services, but what about local kids' education? In entertainment, The Dark Side of Fame, former Nickelodeon star reveals shocking residual checks. Jennifer Temori opens up about the hidden cost of fame, sharing residual checks worth pennies. In lifestyle, torrential rain keeps Midwest and North Carolina flooded. Heavy rains have extended flooding across the Midwest and North Carolina, destroying homes and infrastructure. CBS News reports the ongoing crisis and forecasts. In government, Justice Department ends outsourced peer review for grant applications. The DOJ is discontinuing its long-standing practice of hiring external experts to vet competitive grant proposals, a move that could reshape how federal funding decisions are made. In U.S. news, will mortgage rates drop below 6% in 2026? What it takes. Experts say a mix of economic shifts, policy changes, and market dynamics must align for mortgage rates to dip under 6% by 2026. Here's what that looks like. In crime, mother-in-law claims Lindsay Clancy's postpartum struggles were begging for help. In a courtroom testimony, Susan Clancy said her former daughter-in-law was begging for help during postpartum, shedding new light on the case. In sports, Cubs favored on-run line as White Sox bullpen faces availability concerns. Chicago's White Sox lead the AL Central, but tonight's matchup with the Cubs hinges on a shaky bullpen. With key relievers uncertain, the Cubs edge the line. In lifestyle, can creditors force an estate to sell a home? When a homeowner dies, their house isn't automatically protected. Creditors can sometimes compel the estate to sell the property to satisfy debts. Here's how it works. In sports, AP Top 25 shifts, Arch Manning's height, and USC season outlook. The latest AP Top 25 poll sparks debate. Arch Manning's sophomore buzz heats up, and USC gears up for a challenging season. Find out what's driving the buzz. In business, Klarna's revenue soars 27% in Q2 2026, shaking the buy now pay later market. Buy now pay later giant Klarna reports a 27% jump in revenue from April to June 2026, according to a New York Times business reporter. The surge highlights the sector's resilience. In U.S. news, missing New York woman sparks family search after Bitcoin texts. A New York family is racing to find their missing daughter after she vanished in Las Vegas while receiving cryptic texts demanding Bitcoin. CBS News reports the urgent search. In health, mom to be warned by two rare pregnancy signs, a cautionary tale. A Florida mom's first pregnancy turned alarming when she noticed two rare complications: HELLP syndrome and preeclampsia, highlighting the importance of early detection and care. In sports, Cavaliers-Hornets trade shake-up, Schroeder-Man deal, and WNBA fever outlook. Nekias Duncan and Steve Jones break down the Dennis Schroeder Tree-Man trade, explore the Indiana Fever's rise, and preview the top WNBA title contenders. In technology, Pure Talk's $15 phone bill deal, how to slash your mobile costs. Discover how Pure Talk's limited time offer lets you pay just $15 a month for the first 3 months, saving you money on your phone bill while staying connected. In sports, Fantasy Football Punishments 2026, the end of chicken suits. Leagues are scrambling for new last-place punishments as chicken suits and public shaming hit a ceiling. 2026 sees a shift toward creative, less humiliating penalties. In sports, IndyCar's Freedom 250, Newgarden and Kirkwood preview DC's historic street race. Joseph Newgarden and Kyle Kirkwood discuss the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, a one-time IndyCar event on Washington, D.C.'s iconic streets, highlighting the race's historic significance and challenges. In science, California's broccoli boom faces drought-induced supply shock. California produces over 90% of U.S. broccoli, but a looming drought threatens the staple's availability. Cornell researchers suggest expanding production to the East Coast. In crime, postpartum psychosis claims in Lindsay Clancy murder trial. Defense argues Lindsay Clancy's postpartum psychosis and overmedication led to the tragic deaths of her 3 children, as a psychiatrist testifies in court. In sports, Jaguars' 13-win season is the next leap on the horizon. The Jaguars' 13-win run has sparked questions about their future trajectory. A deep dive into the AFC South reveals whether the team is poised for another leap or facing new challenges. In world news, fall-ready deals, steam cleaners, DeWalt tools, and more. Get ahead of the season with markdowns on steam cleaners, DeWalt tools, air fryers, hair dryers, and more. Grab these savings before fall hits. In U.S. news, Fox News Digital tops all news brands in July multi-platform metrics. Fox News Digital led the pack in July with 1.6 billion multi-platform views and 3.5 billion minutes, outpacing the New York Times, CNN, CBS, ABC, and NBC. In sports, wildcard race heats up, how strength of schedule shapes the final 6 weeks. With the wildcard field crowded, teams' remaining opponents and schedule difficulty are now the deciding factors in the race to the playoffs. In U.S. news, FAA investigates 2 tire blowouts at Chicago O'Hare hours apart, after American and United planes suffered tire damage on landing at Chicago O'Hare. The FAA is probing the cause of the incidents that occurred just hours apart. In world news, Madison Pruitt shares intimate marriage ritual that surpasses sex. Former Bachelor star Madison Pruitt reveals a private prayer ritual that deepens her marriage and explains how stepping away from social media transformed her life. In music, ZZ Top's legendary drummer Frank Beard dies at 77. Frank Beard, the iconic drummer of ZZ Top, passed away Monday at 77. The Texas-born musician, known for his steady groove and signature look, is mourned by the band and fans worldwide. In health, pilots and flight attendants face highest radiation-related cancer risk. A Harvard study reveals that U.S. pilots and flight attendants have the greatest cancer mortality risk from radiation exposure among over 500 occupations. Learn why and what it means.